Very good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the CA classes. I hope you all are doing well. Can anyone please let me know, is the audio and video all good? Since last 2 days, classes were not happening as I was not well, but we are resuming the classes from right now. So we are going to begin with the 4th October, 4th to 8th October. Part 1, Part 2 will be the thumbnail as you have seen. I'll try to cover as much as news as possible, but at least we'll be covering 4th to 5th October news analysis, right? So let's begin with the current affairs. It would be better if anyone can confirm me about the audio and video. Is it all set? Yes, anyone? All right, so I'm assuming. Very good morning. So let's begin. In the first category which we have today, yes, I have finance and business news. There are certain important news. So let's see about them. Is clear? All right. Thank you so much. Let's resume. So first one which we have is India becomes 4th nation to cross $700 billion in forex reserves. You already know that we have created history, for ourselves, and we have become 4th such nation. So you have to remember this rank. You have to remember we have become 4th such nation to cross $700 billion, $700 billion in forex reserves, right? 4th economy in terms of rank in the world. So which are the top 3 economies then? That also becomes important. So remember, India is 4th. Top 3 are of course China, Japan and Switzerland. Remember this, okay? Top 3 economies are China, Japan and Switzerland. China, Japan and Switzerland. All right. And this is based on RBI's data for the week ending September 27, 2024. If you see the other reserves and their data, related data, although this much is not very important, what you have to remember from here is the 4th rank, top 3 countries and 700 billion of mark. Still, let's go through it to be on a safer side. So India's foreign exchange reserves, of course, crossed $700 billion, right? And if you see gold reserves, they are $65.796 billion and special drawing rights 18.547. Need not remember all of them, just remember the 700 mark in the rank. Next, what we have is LIC. So your Life Insurance Corporation of India has increased its stake in Bank of Maharashtra. Remember, LIC has increased its stake in Bank of Maharashtra from 4.05% to 7.10%. That is good increase, right? So this particular news becomes important for your IRDAI, upcoming IRDAI examination. Anything related to insurance is particularly important. So please note it down. LIC has increased its stake particularly in Bank of Maharashtra from 4.05 to 7.10%. Okay, and via QIP method or qualified institutional placement. I hope by now you all know what is a qualified institutional placement. So qualified institutional placement may basically the listed companies, they raise capital by issuing the shares to institutional investors. You already know that, right? Qualified institutional placement, which is private placement. So sorry. This is the thing. So remember, LIC has increased its stake via QIP method in Bank of Maharashtra. This particular information is more important for IRDAI. Now moving on to the next one, you must, if you are a frequent customer of Swiggy and Zomato, you must be knowing Swiggy has launched 10-minute food delivery service Bolt, right? Bolt. So if you open the Swiggy app, on the interface, you will have this notification of Bolt, highlighted on the interface of Swiggy. So this 10-minute service, basically, Swiggy has already started Instamart, as you all know, but this 10-minute will be food delivery. For food delivery, again, it will be catering to the services, the customers within say a particular range, and the range is 2 kilometer, right? 2 kilometers of the radius. The food delivery will be there within 10 minutes, right? So Swiggy has launched its 10-minute meals and beverages delivery service Bolt in key locations across major cities. So of course this is going to be across key locations like Hyderabad, Mumbai, Delhi, Pune, Chennai and Bengaluru. Next what we have is Geo Financial Services joint venture with BlackRock. So there's a joint venture by Geo Financial Services with BlackRock to enter the mutual fund space in India. So you know Geo Financial Services has entered into a joint venture with BlackRock to enter the MF space in India and has also received the nod from SEBI. Just remember this joint venture, so it will now be participating in the MF space, the mutual fund space, also got permission from SEBI. Remember this. Next news which we have says Government of India has offered to repurchase rupees 25,000 crore worth of securities through a buyback auction. So buyback auction ke through the Government of India has offered to buy back basically, okay? So buy back the 25,000 worth of its securities from the banks or from the market. It will of course be conducted by RBI. As you all know, the government securities are on behalf of the government, managed by RBI, and they are traded on the NDS OM platform. You all know that, right? So this is going to be significant. Why significant? So you just don't have to remember the facts, you also need to understand what is happening around you. These kind of actions, what is going to do is it is going to inject liquidity into the banking system. How? See, government is going to buy back, that is going, the money is going to be injected into the market, so providing liquidity. Also this government has decided to raise this much amount to, you know, offset some of the debt obligations. Of course, when you are buying back, you are offsetting your debt obligations. So when government debt gets reduced, investor confidence gets increased into the economy, and then resultantly your long term, if you see 10-year standard 10-year bond yield, it is going to, you know, moderate. So these are some of the implications after these kind of decisions which you can observe in the economy, right? So this is the thing. Remember 25,000 crore, this amount is important, you can remember this figure. Also, which are the bonds? These are the bonds, you can go through the list, although not important to remember all of them. And it has been conducted on 10th October, right, 2024. Then you have Asia Index. Now this is important. You have Asia Index, which is a wholly owned subsidiary of BSE. BSE, you all know, is Asia's oldest stock exchange. So Asia Index has launched 3 indices. You know, 3 indices has been launched by Asia Index. These indices will be used to benchmark the performances of, say, several portfolio management services. So which are these 3 indices? These are BSE Sensex 60, 65, 35, BSE Sensex 60 and BSE Power and Energy Index. So remember these 3 names. These 3 are the indices which has been launched by Asia Index. Okay, as I told you, what will be the purpose? The purpose will be that they will be used for benchmarking of PMS strategies, MF schemes, fund portfolios. So basically you can track them, you know, you can track them and they will be tracking the performance of BSE and all. So they will be used as a benchmark. Just remember these 3 names. In the regulatory bodies news, first we have is again very, very important data. Also has certain implications for your banking system and economy as a whole. So according to RBI's data, deposit mobilization and credit offtake. Deposit mobilization refers to how much have you been able to mobilize deposit from the public into the banking system as a bank. Okay, and credit offtake, how much you have been able to extend the credit into the economy, basically. So deposit mobilization and credit offtake in banking has moderated. Both have moderated, remember. Both have moderated in the first half of this financial year. both have moderated in the first half of the financial year, okay, over the same period if you compare a year ago. And this moderation was much sharper with year to date. So this is not year to date on which the data is provided being 4.2% as against 10.8, okay. So moderation is in credit growth is very substantial. Also, the moderation in your deposit mobilization is there. So both have moderated. You can refer to this chart. You can see deposit mobilization has also moderated, and then you can see credit offtake has also moderated. Credit offtake particularly has moderated too much. Now you see what is the implication of this thing. Credit offtake being moderated. Okay, you have learned this thing, but then what is the use? What is the purpose of these figures? The purpose is that when you see credit offtake is moderating, also simultaneously if you are observing the banking system, the certificate of deposits, which is one of the important instruments of money market, certificate of deposits, as you all know, one of the most important money market instrument, are being issued more by the banks. Why? See, banks are not able to have more of credit offtake, or they are not able to, extend more of credit where their income will be coming from. Also, deposits are moderating. So given this situation, you see alternate option comes as the money market mechanism. So money market comes as a savior in this thing. And when we are talking about money market, so certificate of deposits via COD, via certificate of deposits, they are trying to raise funds. This is a bigger picture. You can understand this news. Now you will be remembering this. Next, what we have is, so your SEBI has reduced. Now, this is again very important. Please remember this, very, very important news. SEBI has reduced trading lot size of your privately placed InvITs. InvITs, you all know what is it, right? So, infrastructure investment trusts, like you have real estate investment trusts, you have infrastructure investment trust. Basically, InvITs are also investment vehicles. They operate like mutual funds only. What is the difference is, when you buy a unit of InvIT, you basically are pooling money. They pool your money, investors' money, and they spend in completed projects or revenue generating projects related to infrastructure sector, right? So this is how you can have a stake or earning from the infrastructure sector. So InvITs ke liye SEBI has reduced the trading lot size. Earlier it was 1 crore. Now it has been reduced to 25 lakhs only. That shows to 25 lakhs only. That shows it will be more accessible to more number of investors, isn't it? So more investment will be attracted now, because when trading lot size is reduced to 25 lakh, more investors will be able to buy these InvITs units, right? So please remember this, it has been reduced to 25 lakh. And what is trading lot size? You all know the minimum amount to be traded in this regard. And if you remember, the current trading lot for secondary market for privately placed InvITs is 1 crore. So it has been reduced from 1 crore to 25 lakhs. But remember one thing, this is not for all of them. This is general information. There is an exception. What is an exception? If the InvIT is investing at least 80%, remember, if the InvIT is investing at least 80% of its asset value in completed and revenue generating assets, then the trading lot size is 2 crores. Please remember this thing. If the InvIT is investing 80% of its asset value in completed or revenue generating assets, then the trading lot size is 2 crores. Otherwise, it is 25 lakhs now, 25 lakhs, okay? Next news which we have is, SEBI has proposed the, again, very, very important. So from finance, we have really important news today. Please remember all of them. SEBI has proposed facilitation of registered stockbrokers to deal in government securities to enable retail participation in the government bond. Now, your stockbrokers, whichever registered stockbrokers there, so stockbrokers will be, able to participate in government securities. Retail participation will be there in government bond market. So accordingly, SEBI has decided they will get access to your NDS OM system, which deals in GSECs. So now onwards, remember your stockbrokers, all of these stockbrokers which are registered, they will have access to NDSOM, Negotiated Dealing System Order Matching, which you all know, which is used or which facilitates the trading in government securities, right? So will be accessible to registered stockbrokers. Remember this. It will enhance their participation, and presently if you see, so far it has been open or accessible to eligible entities like banks, your primary dealers, insurance companies. So please remember, this can be important for IRDAI, that insurance companies, they also have access to NDS-OM, insurance companies, mutual funds, which maintain subsidiary general ledger account with the RBI. Also, if you have been there in my IRDAI classes, you know that we have studied this thing, that a portion of premium which you pay to the insurance companies also goes as investment. So investment goes into this. So insurance companies also have access to NDS OM. I hope this is useful and you have understood the information. Please remember this. Now moving on to the next section, which is banking news. In banking news, we have some facts, important facts. Let's see. So this is important. Your MTNL, Mahanagar Telephone Nigam Limited, has officially, been classified as NPA, non-performing asset or substandard asset by the SBI. So it is now non-performing asset or substandard asset. Remember, MTNL. So it can be asked recently which category of loan has been classified as NP or substandard. So it is MTNL by SBI. Remember that, by SBI. Now next news which we have in banking sector is Power Finance Corporation has secured, your Power Finance Corporation has secured the largest ever foreign currency term loan of 1.265 billion US dollars from banks in IFSC Gift City, Gandhinagar. Now, what will be the implication of securing such huge amount of loan? It will be used to finance non-thermal generation, power generation projects, promoting green energy. So this is for green energy. That's why it is important. So please remember this. Also, it is a floating rate loan. That means the interest rate will be, it is not fixed, it will be floating or variable according to the market conditions. Okay. Also, if you see peculiar features of this loan, so it is denominated in three currencies: the dollar, the euro, and the Japanese yen. So remember, three currencies it is denominated in, has a 5-year tenor, and it is linked to external benchmark rates like secured overnight financing rate, euro interbank offered rate, and Tokyo overnight average rate. Now what are these rates? Just remember, it is linked to them. That's why it is, floating rate. Now it is, what is this SOFR? If you remember my RBI finance classes in the offline batches, I have told you earlier, we used to have LIBOR. India particularly used to take LIBOR as the benchmark rate for deciding our own benchmark rates for interbank transaction. That means one bank borrows from the other, right? For example, SBI borrows from ICICI or ICICI borrows from SBI. So those are known as interbank transactions. Now for that, you have some benchmark into your economy. How do you decide the interest rate? So in India, you had the Mumbai interbank forward offered rate or Mumbai interbank offered rate, right? MIBOR. Now this MIBOR earlier used to take reference from LIBOR, London based interbank offered rate. LIBOR में there were certain claims which were claiming the issues of transparency and all. LIBOR was not working properly, so LIBOR was later replaced by SOFR. Remember, LIBOR was replaced by SOFR, and this is the SOFR, secured overnight financing rate. Now this SOFR, which is particularly denominated in US dollars, also primarily linked to the US Fed Reserve decisions. So SOFR will be taken as reference for the MIBOR, and then MIBOR is taken as reference for interbank transaction. This is the overall thing. I hope you have understood this. So please remember, you can go through the news later on and try to remember these facts. Next, in the banking news, we have income from your reserve assets of RBI. They have been surged. Of course, you see overall reserves are surging. So income from reserve assets of RBI is also surging. They have surged by 52%. You can remember the percentage increase. They have surged by 52% to 4.1 billion US dollars in June 2024 quarter. Okay, and primarily the surge is driven by higher returns on bonds and deposits. This is primarily surge driven by, the surge is driven by high returns on bonds and deposits. Okay. Now moving on to the national state category. First we will look at the national news. In the national news, let's see, Union Minister of State for Coal and Mines has inaugurated 51 rooftop solar power plants. 51 rooftop solar power plants of Bharat Coking Coal Limited from Ranchi, Jharkhand. Just remember this fact, nothing to discuss here about this. Next, let's see, India has become an affiliate member. So this is important, affiliate member of International Medical Device Regulators Forum. Remember, International Medical Device Regulators Forum ka India has become an affiliate member. Now the name only suggests that it is to regulate the medical devices, right? Now what will be the benefit? Of course, it is going to open doors to valuable opportunities for reliance and collaboration with regulatory authorities worldwide, which are involved in regulating the medical devices worldwide. India will have a active participation in that regard. And if you see the International Medical Devices Regulators Forum, it was established in 2011 to speed up the adoption of international medical devices, regulatory harmonization and convergence. So if you see other regulatory authorities, which countries are the members? So you have US, Australia, Canada, European Union, Japan, UK, Brazil, Russia, China, South Korea, Singapore, and WHO. So remember, India now also becomes an affiliate member of this. Next, FCI has rolled out Anna Darpan. Remember, who has rolled out? FCI, your Food Corporation of India. FCI has rolled out Anna Darpan. Anna Darpan is basically a tech-driven supply chain system. Supply chain system, it is going to simplify the operations at various levels. So it is going to manage the supply chain regarding the food crops particularly. It is going to manage supply chain levels at different levels like mandis, mills, depots, across divisional, regional, zonal headquarters, etc. Overall aim, if you see, of course, is to enhance operational efficiency, improve user experience, facilitate data-driven decision making within the supply chain. And MS Coforge Limited is has been selected as the system integrator for this ambitious initiative. Now what you need to remember is, just remember this has been launched by FCI, Anna Darpan, and please remember the context of this. Why do you have these kind of initiatives being launched? If you see, food inflation, particularly in vegetable segment, is soaring very high, right? The food prices, the vegetable prices are very high, And if you look at the reason, this is particularly supply driven. That means lack of supply chain management. It is not demand driven, it is lack of supply which has led to the rise in prices. So efficient management of supply chain can also result in moderation of the prices, of these prices. Next, you have India's animal product exports. You have certain data regarding animal product exports from India. So if you see in 23-24, India's animal product exports amounted to almost 37,665 crores. And you should remember this category, not the figure, that buffalo meat has emerged as the dominant contributor in the overall exports. Okay. It alone has accounted for almost this amount of figure. And other items, if you see, which have a majority stake in all of these exports, so that is sheep and goat meat, poultry products you have, then you have dairy products and natural honey. Natural honey is also an important component. So remember all of these components contributing to India's animal exports, and particularly buffalo meat is the major contributor. Next, Adani Group, always you see in the news, working towards the green energy project. So again, Adani Group has started blending green hydrogen and natural gas. That is going to be a milestone in achieving net zero emission. So blending green hydrogen and natural gas, you know, which is supplied to your households for cooking purposes. So it has started this thing, this blending in Ahmedabad, parts of Ahmedabad. And the overall aim is, of course, to cut the emissions and meet the net zero targets. And who basically has started this blending? If you look at the organization, so it is Adani Total Gas Limited. Remember, Adani Total Gas Limited, which is a joint venture with a French energy giant Total Energies. So Adani Group and French Total Energies. This is a joint venture between these two, which has resulted into Adani Total Gas Limited. Also, one more thing, if you see, sometimes, you know, becomes difficult because of human limitations of human memory, capacity to mug up the facts. Sometimes you don't remember the partnerships and joint ventures and all. I'm giving you one thing. You can use it in extreme cases. If anything is there regarding renewable energy, green energy, so particularly say IEA related, France has been a pioneer nation in this regard, right? So France, if in the option, can be the most probable answer. You can take this, note this down, and can experiment it on number of questions. So say if you don't have anything to do, and then rather than leaving the question, you can just have this calculative guess that if it is talking about renewable energy, green energy, most probable country in partnership will be France. Okay. Sorry. All right. Now moving to the state news. This was about the national. I hope everything is clear. You don't have any doubts. So in the state news, let's see. You have Prime Minister inaugurating the Banjara Virasat Museum. Please remember this thing. This is important. Banjara Virasat Museum in Pohar Devi in Washim in Maharashtra. Okay, Pohar Devi, Washim in Maharashtra. So remember the location. Banjara Virasat Museum, you know, to give a boost to their heritage and craftsmanship. Also, several of initiatives have been launched in line with that. So I'll go through all these important initiatives. If you see, he has also launched 23,300 crore worth of initiatives related to agriculture and animal husbandry sectors. So agriculture and animal husbandry sectors this has been launched. What are the initiatives? He has disbursed the PM Kisan Samman Nidhi 18th installment. You know, PM Kisan Samman Nidhi scheme, you already know that. So 18th installment has been disbursed of rupees 20,000 crore to almost 9.4 crore families. And then he has inaugurated more than 7,500 projects under the Agriculture Infrastructure Fund. Okay. Then if you see, PM has also launched almost 9,200 FPOs. 9,200 FPOs, farmer producer organizations. Farmer producer organizations. You know what are the significance of FPOs, right? FPOs are the legal entities. They are working, there's a collective approach into FPO. So farmer producer organization, they are working for the collective overall betterment of the farmer. Farmer can get a better market access, better price in the market for its for the crop produced by him or her, right? So FPOs have important significance. 9,200 FPOs have been launched, and he has also launched unified genomic chip, remember, for cattle. Unified genomic chip. What is the significance of this unified genomic chip? This is going to be used to identify what? The most healthy cattle for the purpose of breeding. So this is to increase the breeding capacity in the animal husbandry sector. This chip will be able to identify most suitable cattle for the purpose of breeding. So unified genomic chip for cattle, and also has launched indigenous sex sorted semen technology, which is going to be used to promote, you know, breeding of female cattle particularly. This is to breed female cattle almost with 90% accuracy. Remember, almost with 90% accuracy. Also, this chip, genomic chip, has two components. One is for cows, so that is Gau chip for the indigenous cattle, and there is Mahish chip for buffaloes particularly. So remember, these chips, they have two categories: the Gau chip for the indigenous cattle and the Mahish chip for the buffaloes. Now these initiatives like this, they are to increase the breeding in animal husbandry sector. Okay. Also, another benefit to farmers of Maharashtra has been released under the 5th installment of Namo Shetkari Maha Sanman Nidhi Yojana. This is again a farmer welfare scheme providing financial assistance to farmers, particularly in Maharashtra. He has also inaugurated various infrastructure projects in Maharashtra, and remember, has inaugurated 5 solar parks in Maharashtra's Washim with a total capacity of 19 megawatt across these states. So this section has a lot of initiatives, and the most important ones are unified genomic chip, where you have 2 chips, and the indigenous sex sorted semen technology, particularly for female cattle rearing with almost 90% accuracy. This was the thing. Moving on to the next set of news. You have Jal Jagar Mahotsav, which is a water conservation festival. Okay, remember, was organized in Chhattisgarh, Dhamtari district. Dhamtari district, Chhattisgarh, from 5th to 6th October. And the participants, if you look at, were UNICEF, Japan, Sri Lanka, and a lot of environmentalists. Okay, these were the important participants. So remember the location of Jal Jagar Mahotsav, Dhamtari district, Chhattisgarh. Then you have NTPC's Bonjai Gaon unit collaborated with Divisional Forest Office of Kokrajhar district of Assam to organize awareness program to celebrate Wildlife Week. So remember, Wildlife Week is celebrated from 2nd to 8th October. So this Wildlife Week celebration ke liye, NTPC's Bonjai Gaon unit has collaborated with the Divisional Forest Office of Kokrajhar district, Assam. Then you have Ahmedabad Police establishing state-of-the-art command and control center utilizing technologies to enhance citizen safety in Gujarat. So basically, you know, integrating state-of-the-art technologies to ensure more citizen security with active participation of the police forces. Then you have Assam becoming first. Now this is very, very important. You have another administrative unit added into a state of India. So Assam has become first Indian state to roll out a new administrative setup of core districts. Earlier what you had was districts, right? Now you have core districts, a new administrative setup of core districts. Assam has become the first state to do this with a launch of 21 such core districts across the state. These core districts will be serving as a smaller administrative units below the administrative unit of district, which will be led by an officer of the rank of Assistant District Commissioner. Will be led by an officer with the rank of Assistant District Commissioner, remember. So this is going to enhance the idea of, you know, federalism. Federalism is what? Particularly in India, if you see, the idea of federalism is the decentralization or the division of powers, right? And this is to ensure better administration at each administrative setup. So basically to implement the policies in more efficient manner, if there is division of these administrative units, that becomes more efficient to implement and to monitor as well. So this is going to aid Assam government in better implementation of policies. So please remember, this is very, very important fact. Assam has become the first Indian state to roll out new administrative setup of core districts, with 21 such core districts being launched. And the state government aims to introduce such core districts further in all the 126 assembly constituencies in the state. Then next, what we have is Delhi government started trial run of NIC developed e-Abkari portal. E-Abkari portal. So Delhi government has started trials of e-Abkari portal. What is this? This is basically to handle the retail liquor business, management, excise duty related things of the liquor business, management, distribution, giving the licensing facility and the licensing processes. All these, basically the liquor business is to be monitored under this e-Abkari trial, remember. Now moving on to the international news. I hope so far whatever we have discussed in the finance, banking, regulatory, national and state is clear to all of you. Do you have any doubt so far what we have discussed? I hope all clear, right? So moving on to the international segment now. Let's see. So UK, now this is again ending a long-term historical dispute over your Chagos Islands in Indian Ocean. So UK and Mauritius, they have reached an historical agreement to cede sovereignty of Chagos Islands, which is a strategically significant archipelago in Indian Ocean. UK will be handing over it to the Mauritius. So if you look at Chagos Islands, it is there located in Indian Ocean. Why it is strategically important? You have a US military base over here known as Diego Garcia. Diego Garcia. Okay, you might have heard this name a lot of times in news. Diego Garcia. This is a very, very important US military base in Chagos Islands, right, in Indian Ocean. This Diego Garcia ki wajah se this was strategically important, and they have a historical dispute over this. Now that is going to end. You need not go into the history so much. UK will be handing over it to Mauritius. Remember this. And the Mauritius will be regaining the sovereignty. Okay. Then in the international segment, you have Taiwan. Taiwan has launched a global elite card. Taiwan has launched a global elite card to basically attract skilled foreign professionals to the country. Okay. Taiwan has launched Global Elite Card to attract skilled foreign professionals in the country. It will be allowing professionals, all those who want to apply for permanent residence within 1 year of their staying in Taiwan. Then you have bilateral creditors and International Monetary Fund. They have given support to $12.5 billion bondholder debt rework of Sri Lanka. So, you know, all these countries, they are providing assistance to Sri Lanka. So, this is again important. Another fact, you can actually skip this thing, not so much important. Now, moving on to MOUs and mergers and acquisitions, let's see. So, we have the CrackGradeB or Confederation of Real Estate Developers Associations of India. It has collaborated with Indian Institute of Management, Ahmedabad, to launch the Real Estate Development Leadership Program. Okay. It will be catering to real estate development projects. Now, next we have is National Real Estate Development Council signed an agreement with Fire and Security Association of India. National Real Estate Development Council signed an agreement with Fire and Security Association of India, basically to enhance the standards related to fire safety in real estate projects. This is important. You have to have good standards for fire safety in all the real estate projects. Next, Amazon and Department of Posts. Amazon and Department of Posts have signed an MOU to enhance the logistical capabilities of the entities involved, supporting job creation and contributing to economic growth. Both, if you see, they have been working together since 2013, utilizing the Department of Post network for parcel transmission. You know what Amazon works like. So Amazon ke liye it becomes more effective if can utilize the networks of Department of Post. It is going to enhance public logistic capabilities in parcel delivery, also going to create jobs and finally contribute to economic growth. Then you have ICMR signing an MOU. So Indian Council of Medical Research has signed an MOU with NTPC Vidyut Vyapar Nigam to harness solar power for ICMR institutes across the country and supporting India's overall push towards renewable energy and sustainability. It will be providing solar power to ICMR institutes across the country. Then you have Ashok Leyland. Ashok Leyland has signed a multi-purpose, multi-pronged partnership agreement with Japan-based electric motor drivers manufacturer, which is Nidec Motor Corporation, to enable both of them to develop novel e-drive motors and systems. So for development of e-drive motors and systems, they have signed an MOU, Ashok Leyland and Nidec Motor Corporation. Then you have Google has partnered with Clean Max Enviro Energy Solutions. Google has partnered with Clean Max Enviro Energy Solutions to supply clean power in India. And they will be developing 125.4 megawatt hybrid project, including solar and wind generation. And you know, Google also has an overall goal of 24/7 carbon-free energy. Okay, and it is expected to start operations in late 2025, this thing. Then you have Indian Oil Corporation Limited and Nepal Oil Corporation have signed a business-to-business framework agreement for extension of work for Motihari Amlekhganj Petroleum Pipeline and oil storage terminals at Chitwan. If you look at this Motihari Amlekhganj Petroleum Pipeline, it is South Asia's first transnational, which is, you know, supplying the products across boundaries. So first South Asia's transnational petroleum product pipeline, which was commissioned in 2019 in Chitwan in Nepal. So Indian Oil Corporation and Nepal Oil Corporation have signed B2B framework, business to business, for extension of the work of this pipeline to supply petroleum based products. Then you have BPCL inking a pact with Mumbai Port Authority and Mumbai Port Sustainability Foundation for setting up green fuel ecosystem at the port. Then you have GAIL and AM Green. GAIL and AM Green. GAIL and AM Green agreed to jointly set up 2.5 gigawatts of renewable energy projects in India. For this purpose, these two companies will be undertaking studies for long-term supply of almost 350,000 tons per annum of carbon dioxide generated by GAIL in its gas processing plants to produce e-methanol. So they will be producing e-methanol, and GAIL will be investing into it. So please remember, these were certain MOUs. You just have to remember the facts. We need not discuss MOUs, right? So then moving on to science, tech and defense section, let's see what do we have in science. We have Google's Gemini Live. You all must be knowing Google's Gemini Live, which is a conversational AI feature. It now supports 9 additional Indian languages. So on Gemini Live of Google, more 9 Indian languages will be supported, which will be including Hindi, Bengali, Gujarati, Kannada, Malayalam, Marathi, Telugu, Tamil and Urdu. These 9 languages will be supported by Google's Gemini Live now. Okay. Now moving on to defense, your DRDO has successfully conducted 3 flight tests. Test of what? Test of 4th generation, remember 4th generation, very short range air defense systems. 4th generation, short range, very short range air defense systems in the Pokhran field firing ranges of Rajasthan. In the Pokhran range. Pokhran is a famous name, you all know. So you have 3 ranges in Rajasthan. Pokhran, and one is Mahajan, and the third I am unable to recall. If you can recall, please let me know, right? So about this thing, the very short range air defense system, it is a men portable air defense system, portable by men and designed and developed by Research Center MRR and DRDO laboratories and development cum production partners. So basically DRDO and RCI have produced this. Then you have maritime exercise Malabar, which is quite famous, has taken place from 18th to 18th October, okay, in Vishakhapatnam. You must be knowing who all are the participant countries of Malabar. India, Japan, Australia, Japan, US are the participants, right? And the original, if you see, this has been a bilateral drill between US and Indian navies particularly, yes. That's why India first came into the discussion when I was discussing with you. So initially, these were the bilateral drills between India and US particularly when the Malabar exercises originally started. So remember, now you have other countries as well. You, along with the US and Indian navies, now you have other countries of Australia and Japan. Then you have next edition of Aero India 2025 has been held biennially at Yelahanka Air Force Station, Bengaluru. It is to be held from February 10 to 14 It is held, biennially, and is all set to be held from February 10 to 14 in 2025. Aero India 2025 in Bangalore, Karnataka. Remember the location. Also, what is going to do is, it is a defense expo kind of thing, defense expo, and there are two major exhibitions which will be conducted over there. They will be attracting global and Indian defense manufacturers and several official delegations as well. This was about defense, and if we move on to the report section, let's see what do we have with regard to reports. Just give me a second. All right. So let's see in the report section what do we have. In reports, first you have a report by Observer Research Foundation. Report title is Busting the Myth of Jobless Growth. So, opposition, you have heard shouting at the center that you have made Indian economy, go into a cycle of jobless growth, right? So this report is titled Busting the Myth of Jobless Growth. Do we really have jobless growth? So these are going to be certain important observations regarding employment data by Observer Research Foundation. Let's see. So employment has increased by nearly 36%, adding around 17 million jobs during 2016-17 and 22-23. India's economic trajectory demonstrates sustained job creation across key sectors. So according to it, employment has increased nearly by 36%, and we have sustained job creations across key sectors. Then if you see a summary of India's employment growth, so if you look at the worker population ratio, it has increased by 9 percentage points. And if you see the KLEMS database, employment data from RBI. So according to RBI's KLEMS database, it indicates a consistent rise in employment since 1980s. What is KLEMS? I want you to answer. Yes, anyone, please. Tell me KLEMS. I have taken an entire editorial on KLEMS with you, right? So KLEMS data was published, and then we have discussed an entire editorial on it, finance and economy editorial series mein. I am waiting for your answers. Please let me know what is KLEMS here. Okay, so RBI data also shows consistent increase. And if you see employment elasticity, so between 2017-23, 1% GDP increase led to 1.11% rise in employment. Okay, that means it is very elastic. Now, what does this employment elasticity is showing? It is showing in relation to growth in GDP, how much does that growth in GDP is actually leading to growth in employment opportunities. So in response to 1% growth in GDP, if you have 1.11 rise, that is highly elastic. So where is this jobless growth, right? This is what the data is saying, not I am saying, okay? So please, no personal opinions. The data is showing that this is not jobless growth. And sectoral job creation, if you look at, so high labor intensity is there in sectors, okay, with a labor capital ratio of 1.17. So labor intensive growth is there. Labor intensive growth is there. You can go through all other data, although we have discussed all of them. All right. So this was about the employment data. Now, next what you have in this section is, according to International Energy Agency, IEA, again in news, according to its report titled, natural gas supply remains fundamentally tight with uncertainties weighing on 2025 outlook. This is the report by IEA. Remember the name of the report, global demand for natural gas will hit an all-time high in 2025. Remember this thing. Remember this fact. According to IEA's report, global demand for natural gas is going to be all-time high in 2025. Now coming to awards, books and festivals categories. Let's see books mein what do we have. Sorry. So in the awards, books and festivals category, first we have awards. The Vera Voronova from Kazakhstan and Isabel Augustina from Peru have been selected for Midori Prize for Biodiversity in 2024. Remember, Midori Prize for Biodiversity. This prize was established by Aeon Environment Foundation in the 2010 International Year of Biodiversity for sustained efforts in biodiversity conservation and awareness campaigns, right? So remember them, Vera Voronova from Kazakhstan and Isabel Augustina from Peru have won this award for biodiversity. Then you have Sabo Varghese, also known as Kunjumon, a reformed poacher from Periyar, has been awarded with Cricketers for Wildlife Conservation Service Award. Sabo Varghese, Cricketers for Wildlife Conservation Service Award. This award, if you see, was established by Cricketers for Wildlife Conservation, which is an initiative by former Indian cricketers Sandeep Patil, Yusuf Pathan and Harbhajan Singh. Okay, so they have established this, and this time you have Sabu Varghese winning this award. Then coming to the festivals, so 10th edition of India International Science Festival is set to be hosted at IIT Guwahati from November 30th to December 3rd, 2024. Remember the location, IIT Guwahati, and this is 10th edition. Please remember the theme as well. Theme will be transforming India into a science and tech driven global manufacturing hub. This is the theme. Transforming India into a science and tech driven global manufacturing hub. Now moving on to the sports category. In sports, first you have Chandigarh golf player Angad Chima has clinched Vizag Open 2024, has clinched Vizag Open 2024 title, which was held at East Point Golf Club course, and has defeated Patna's Aman Raj. Next, you have Indian famous archer Vaishnavi Pawar. Vaishnavi Pawar has clinched a silver medal in the recurve under 18 women's team category at Asian Youth Archery Championship 2024 in Taipei City. Then you have Indian pistol shooter Devanshi has secured second individual gold in the women's 25-meter standard pistol event at IFSCA Junior World Championship, held in Peru. Meanwhile, Suraj Sharma has also won gold. In men's 25-meter standard pistol event at Mukesh Nelawali, and Mukesh Nelawali settled for bronze in the same game. So they have really made India proud. Now, you have Hockey India League set to return after 7 years. So Hockey India League is set to return after 7 years, okay, and will begin on December 28, 2024. This is going to be a very important event for all the hockey enthusiasts and hockey players. Please remember, Hockey India League is returning after 7 years, going to start from 28th December, and player auctions will be happening in October. So they have actually held now in New Delhi. There will be teams, if you see 8 men's teams and 6 women's teams will be there. So 8 men's teams and 6 women's teams will be there. If you look at the list of franchisees and their owners for men and women's hockey teams, so there will be a Chennai team, then Lucknow, Punjab, West Bengal, Delhi, Odisha, Hyderabad, Ranchi, and List of women's franchisees and their owners: Haryana by JSW Sports, West Bengal by Strachi Sports, Delhi SG Sports, Odisha, etc. Okay, so these will be the teams. And 28th December will be the opening ceremony. 26th January will be the Women's League final, and Men's League final will be 1st February. Okay, so remember, Men's League final will be held in Rourkela, Odisha. Men's League final will be held in Rourkela, in Odisha, and Women's League final will be held in Ranchi. And if you look at the venue, so venue for this Hockey India League will be Marang Gomke Jaipal Singh AstroTurf Hockey Stadium in Ranchi, Jharkhand, and Birsa Munda Hockey Stadium in Rourkela, Odisha. So you have two locations which will be catering to the Hockey India League. Then you have Bihar Chief Minister unveiling the logo and mascot. So please remember the logo and mascot particularly. The Bihar CM has unveiled the logo and mascot for Women's Asian Champions Women's Asian Champions Trophy 2024 ka logo and mascot has been unveiled, which will be held in Rajgir from November 11, remember. Okay, mascot is named as Gudiya, remember. So Women's Asian Championships Trophy ka mascot will be named Gudiya, inspired by the state bird of Bihar. Okay, sparrow. And Women's Asian Champions 2024 is a joint venture of Hockey India and the Bihar government, which you must be knowing. Also, 6 countries, including India. Apart from India, you have China, Thailand, Malaysia, South Korea, and Japan. They are going to participate in this championship. And then if you see, Mumbai has won the 15th Irani Cup after defeating rest of India at the Atal Bihari Vajpayee Cricket Stadium, UP. Okay. Then ICC has introduced a social media moderation tool in collaboration with Go Bubble at Women's T20 World Cup. This is basically, to protect the cricket community from toxic content and create a safer and inclusive online environment for players and fans. Then in appointments, if you look at, so Sachin Tendulkar has joined America's National Cricket League ownership group, okay, to boost the sport in US. He will present the championship trophy to the winning team. Remember this. Then also, this is important, central government has extended the term of Reserve Bank of India's Deputy Governor M. Rajeshwar Rao for another 1 year. It has been done, okay? And this is second 1 year extension for the Deputy Governor. Then you have Reserve Bank of India appointing again Aviral Jain as the new Executive Director. So remember, RBI has appointed Aviral Jain as the new Executive Director. Then you have Muthoot Finance has approved the reappointment of George Alexander Muthoot as the MD of the company. Then you have PR Srijesh named, PR Srijesh was named the Director of Hockey. PR Srijesh named Director of Hockey in Delhi franchisee, Delhi SG Pipers, for upcoming Hockey India League. So recently we have seen there are different teams, 8 men's teams and 6 women's teams. So in Delhi franchisee, Delhi SG Pipers for upcoming Hockey India League, PR Srijesh has been named as the Director of Hockey in the Delhi franchisee. Now coming to important days in obituaries, so veteran Malayalam actor Mohan Raj, popularly known by his stage name Kirikadan Jose, has passed away at 70. So popular veteran Malayalam actor Mohan Raj. Then you have French actor, director and screenwriter Michael Blanc. Michael Blanc, best known for his comedic roles, has also unfortunately died at 72. Then you have important days, and important days में you have World Cerebral Palsy Day is being observed globally on 6th October to raise awareness about the condition and promote inclusivity. Okay, so if you see 2024 theme is uniquely CP, uniquely CP. So please remember the theme. Please remember the theme. You know, if you have heard about this condition, cerebral palsy, so it leads to a lot of muscle malfunctioning of a lot of muscles in the body. So this is to raise awareness and to improve the inclusivity of all those who have in fact who have this condition, right? Promote their inclusivity, and therefore 2024 theme is uniquely CP, hashtag uniquely CP. Then you have World Teachers Day. Okay, so every year World Teachers Day is observed on October 5. Okay, so October 5 is celebrated every year, remember, as World Teachers Day, and theme for 2024 is valuing teacher voices towards a new social contract for education. Then you have World Space Week. World Space Week, which is an annual holiday observed from 4 to 10 October in over 95 nations throughout the world for space and climate change. So 2024 theme is space and climate change. Remember, World Space Week for space and climate change. This is the theme, space and climate change. Then you have World Animal Day, observed every year on 4th October. Remember the theme for 2024 for World Animal Day, world is their home too. Highlights the idea of coexistence, that we humans have not, we humans do not have only the right of existing on the planet, it is their home too. Then if you look at the persons in news, so Sri Lanka spinner Praveen has been banned from all forms of cricket for 1 year. So this player has been in news, has been banned from all forms of cricket for 1 year. Nothing more in persons in news. All right. So I think this much is sufficient for today's class. Otherwise, it will be a lengthy class. So we have covered 4 to 5th October of news analysis. I hope all of this is clear to all of you. We have covered almost all the dimensions, and I've explained you the important ones like finance and regulatory news as well. If you still have any doubt, you can ask me. Otherwise, I'll end this class here, and I'll meet you in the next session with next current affairs news discussion. Do you have any doubt? Anyone? Any doubts? All right then. I hope there is no doubt. So have a great day. Thank you so much. And I'll see you in the next CA class. Till then, have a good day. Thank you.